A lengthy day of football is in the books, folks, and I held off to do my recap because I was watching a lot of football today, as I'm sure most of you guys were watching. We started off with the Hurricanes, 34-17 win at Virginia Tech. Most of us were not pleased with how this game ended, and you have every right to be. We also didn't have things go our way in terms of teams winning. Utah gets this miracle come from behind victory over Kansas State, 51-47. That one kind of broke my soul tonight because that one really, really sucked because I've never seen a team rush for almost 500 yards and lose. And the way they lost was just almost unforgivable in nature with how they found a way to lose that game to Utah. I don't know that it makes a humongous difference, to be honest. I really don't know at this point because you have a team that just gave up almost 500 yards rushing. I don't want to hear that they're good. I don't want to hear that Kansas State is a good team. I don't bull crap. That's a 500 team on your home field that had 500 yards of rush. And I'm gonna give you the exact numbers of that game because this one set me up. 472 yards rushing, 42 carries for 472. Their running back went 24 for 293. They had 574 yards and lost the damn game. I mean, flabbergasting. And then, of course, if you saw it, the way it ended was utterly ridiculous from the 2 point play that turns into a pick for a 2 point, a 2 point the other way. 2 points the other way. I mean, that one sucked right now. BYU's up 20-7 at Cincinnati. And we did get Pitt. Pitt did win. Pitt found a way to blow. Pitt, man, they play with fire, bro. They were up 28 nothing, blowing Georgia Tech out of the building, let them back in the game, then made it 35-14 on the pick six, 100 yards the other direction, and then let them back in the game again. If I thought Mario made some dunderheaded decisions. Pat Narduzzi is one that will give a game away with his decisions. That decision to go for a fake punt on 4th and 8 from his own 30, utterly insane. But Pitt does get the win, so Miami does still have a chance. SMU won. USC did lose to Oregon, so USC's out of the picture. Big question right now remains: does Miami jump Utah this weekend? Because Utah, I mean, got to be real. If you watch the game, they were getting their heads kicked in on their home field by a 500 team, now a 5-6 team that can't throw the football at all. You can't give up 47 points and be considered a top 12 team in the country. I mean, that's what they held on us last year. They're saying our defense wasn't very good. Utah's defense sucks. That's just atrocious. What I saw today, defensively, that defense sucks. Let's talk about this game, though. I mean, we are still here. We won 30-4-17. We won 34-17. It did not end the way we wanted it to end. We were in control. We're up 20-3 at the half. Complete control. Carson Beck has the best game he's ever had as a Hurricane, 27 of 32 for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had a fifth touchdown dropped by Alex Bauman. I mean, if that guy does not play again, I wouldn't be upset. My God, watching that kid try to catch a football is like a freaking, I mean, it is like it's a roller coaster. The Canes jump out 7-0 on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Beck to Elijah Moore. I mean Elijah Lofton. No, I said Moore. Elijah Lofton. It was a 20-yard touchdown pass right down the middle of the field. I mean, it was a great throw, great catch. They really controlled the game from the outset, but defensively they struggled. They couldn't stop the run. Vatek rushed for 194 yards. I mean, it made no sense to see how they were able to run the football against us. I mean, the stretch plays, the lack of discipline defensively was painful at times. We seemed to find a way to get off the field when it came down to it, but defensively we weren't very good. You know, this was probably one of the more subpar performances because at least against SMU they passed it on us, but they couldn't run the ball on us. Virginia Tech ran the ball on us, and then later in the game they were able to pass the ball on us too, which was annoying, to say the least. Miami didn't run the ball all that much. They ran it 30 times, but geez Louise, bro, 63 plays, and you didn't turn the ball over. I want to remind Mario Cristobal about stuff he has said earlier this year. I want to remind him 63 plays. That is not even the average in a football game right now. This game was played at a snail's pace. A snail's pace. And that is the problem with what I am watching. Virginia Tech could not stop us in the first half, and this man goes conservative the second it gets to the fourth quarter. And it is so ungodly annoying. It is ungodly annoying to see this every single time. We have a lead, you get to the fourth quarter, and the man turns the freaking faucet off. Carson Beck is humming in this game. And I mean, the penalties have returned. The lack of discipline has come back. And all of those things said, we dominated this game and we made it a game. It was 27-10. 27-10. We have a chance to get off the field. And if my memory serves me correct, Pruitt grabs a face mask and then it turns into 27-17 after that. If my memory serves me correct, I'm going off my memory right now. In fact, let me just check it just for the sake of checking it so I don't get yelled at by somebody. But this crap, we go into the fourth quarter up 27-10. Or was that when they made it 20 when they made it 21-10? Let's see. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was when we were up 20-3, 27. We were up 20-3, and to start the second half, Pruitt grabs the face mask on a stuff on 4th and 1. We had 3 stops on 4th down and 1. One of them, Mario Cristobal botched by calling timeout again. The next one, the referees botched because they somehow did not. I don't know what they were checking on. Don't know what they were checking on specifically. Don't even remember what it was. But again, like I'm sorry, they checked on the pass. The pass that was clearly incomplete. Clearly incomplete. If that's the one I'm thinking about. I'm looking here. 4th and 1. Yeah. That was the one that was clearly incomplete. They hit the ground that they kept as a catch. The referees botched it. And then even on the 3rd attempt from 4th and 1. Thought he got stuffed there too, but they decide this time they're not going to blow the whistle, even though he was stood up. And then a play after that personal foul, 38-yard touchdown run, and we have a 20-10 game. And I'm sorry, what was it? I'm sorry. Yeah, 20-10 game. And you're sitting here like, wow, you guys are really trying to figure out how to blow this, right? Well, we respond immediately with a 75-yard drive. And again, another 75 yards. People, I have no problem going 75 yards. I have a problem when you're eating 6.5 minutes off of the clock every single time. You cannot keep slowing the game down to a snail's pace against teams that you are flat out better than. It is every single game. We run this slow-ass tempo. No tempo is what I call it. It's not slow tempo. It's no tempo. He decides today, apparently, Mark Fletcher was healthy today, apparently. I was surprised. I thought he might be out for the year. I was told he was probably out for the year. And you saw the difference when he was on the field against Gerard Pringle. The offense completely slowed down. When Pringle's on the field, their plays are wide open. I'm not saying Fletcher didn't play well. I'm not saying he didn't do a good job. But when he's on the field, the freaking pace changes. The pace just flat changes, man. And, yeah, so we get the ball. We go down the field. We make it 27-10. But we ate up 6+ minutes. That drive finished when Carson Beck hit Pringle on a wheel route. Oh, that damn wheel route that I've been begging for forever, right, people? Finally run it, touchdown, Gerard Pringle. Finally run it. We don't throw the ball downfield enough, deep. It's continuously happening. Unless someone breaks something, it's like we're not throwing it down the field deep. We make it a 27-10 game. We force a punt in 4 plays. But then we get the ball back, and what do? We go 5 plays and out. Because the 4 plays, they switched field on 1 play, went 24 yards on another run by Overton, and he hurt us badly with some of his runs. The tackling today was atrocious. It was horrible. The swarming, the lack of pursuit was bad. And yet we won the game. That just shows how much better we are than this team, that we can play poorly on defense like that and still relatively dominate the game. But, we had a fumble recovery. It wasn't really a fumble. It was Brockermeyer snapping the ball while Carson Beck's not looking and still getting his team ready. And just, you saw Beck never looked for the ball. He never did this. He never said hi. He never did anything. Brockermeyer just snaps the ball, snaps it right past Beck, kills any chance of a drive. That was the first drive in the entire game that Miami Hurricanes did not score. First time. And even in that 5 plays, we burned 3 minutes off the clock. You're like, we burn clock. Do we run every play down to the last second on every snap? Do we run every play down to the last second on every freaking snap? Y'all watching this. I'm watching the same thing. Consistently running the play clock all the way down. You don't have to do that. You can move with some, what's the word? I don't know. If you think of the word, you know what I'm talking about. Enthusiasm, tempo. I mean, there's another word that I'm looking for. Urgency is the better word. Urgency. Move with some urgency. No, he wants to run the clock down in every play. Then we give up 11 plays on 21 yards. They turn it over on downs, and we have the ball at the Virginia Tech. I mean, it's crazy. We're at the Miami 49 with the ball, and we can't go anywhere because we have a penalty by Matthew McCoy on a holding on a 1st and 10, which turns a 3-yard gain into a 10-yard loss. Now we're at 1st and 20. Pringle catches a 5-yard pass. Then we have, for some reason, on 2nd and 15, they decide to run the football. Pringle goes for 7. And on 3rd down, Beck throws an incomplete pass to Toney. That was broken up. That was a really nice play by the DB because Toney was open and he jumped up and tipped the ball, and that was a nice play. And then we punt. So we had the ball at midfield and we punted. We couldn't move the ball 20 fucking yards to even get into field goal range. But that all goes back to what you're doing. That goes back to you're not playing with urgency. So what happens? Vontae gets the ball at the 8, and they have I think we knocked Drones out of the game at this point. Yeah, we knocked Drones out of the game at 4:16 of the 4th quarter. And this guy Watson drives them down the field and gets them in the end zone on the 4th and 11 from the 42. He completes a 39-yard pass over Damari Brown. I mean, unbelievable. Right over Damari Brown's head. You're like, how are you getting beat deep on 4th and 11? Why aren't we bringing pressure against their backup quarterback? Why not? Play later, it's 27-17. And they recover an onside kick because we're not prepared. The ball bounces. We're sitting back. We're waiting for the ball. And what could have happened versus Florida State happened today. They recover the onside kick, but thankfully we force a fumble and we get the ball back at the 48. And this is where we go down the field and we make it 34-17. Final play of our offense, 4th and 2. Carson Beck throws a perfect pass to Malachi Toney. Malachi Toney makes a great catch over the defender. It was an incredible catch, a great throw. And that made it 34-17, your final score. This game should have been 45-10. Like, this game should not have been at all close. Once again, I have to remind this moron of a coach that we need to win with style points. And this guy's decisions are going to cost us a playoff berth. His decisions to not try to finish people off are going to cost us a playoff berth. I mean, over and over and over again. You got to go deep. You got to challenge people downfield. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Alex Bauman drops a TD pass that would have made it 21-0, and instead we're kicking field goals. It's frustrating, to say the least. It is absolutely frustrating, to say the least. Malachi Toney was sensational today. 12 catches, 146 yards, a touchdown. He was 1-for-1 passing. Hit Jojo Trader? I think he hit on a pass. Defensively, we lost Jacoby Thomas early in the game on a missed tackle. I mean, you're missing tackles. Now, from what I've read, Jacoby Thomas has no damage. So his X-rays were negative, and Mario Cristobal expects him to be ready for next week. That's according to Adam Lichtenstein of the Sun Sentinel. Um, he left in the second quarter, and I will say this: our tackling was bad today. It was really bad. I need Ruben Bain to show up again. Akeem Mesidor's doing everything he can. I need Ruben Bain to show up, bro. Show up, bro. Like, show up, dude. I don't want to hear excuses. We need you to show up next week. I'd like to see Miami move him around, put him on the inside. Ahmad Moulton played great. I mean, he played great. Mesidor played great. Our linebacker play was subpar. Toure was bad. Besaint was not very good. He was bouncing off people. Rather than wrapping up, he's trying to hit people as hard as he can. Wrap up, dude. The tackling was poor. You know, Thomas not being available, I don't think it hurt us all that much, believe it or not, but it will hurt us if we don't have him next week. Pittsburgh beating up Georgia Tech. This game is a big, big game for both teams. Pittsburgh is still in the race to play for the ACC championship. This is a big time game on the road. And I don't care that they lost 37-15 to Notre Dame. You got to go up in there and you got to win. You got to win. You got to win with style. You got to dominate. Your defense has to show up, man. The defense has got to be dominant. Miami can score on Pitt's defense. Pittsburgh can't stop anybody. I've watched them a number of times. Tonight I watched them again. They're not a good defense. They don't have much. They're defensively, they're not very good. They're not very good defense. But Mason Heinchel's a beast. He's a badass quarterback. He's 6-0 in the ACC. Only loss was Notre Dame. 6-1 overall as a starter. Kid is good, man. You got to contain him. He's got legs. He can get out the pocket. He throws nice balls. He doesn't wait for his receivers to be there. He throws it off before they're even out of their route the way you're supposed to, which is really good for a freshman. Their running back is a bad boy, man. That running back was making plays all day. I mean, so what was that dude's name? He was making plays all day long in this game. I mean, they were Pitt jumped out like a machine tonight. They look great early on. Jakarian Turner, 21 carries, 201 yards, 9.6 yards per carry, a touchdown. He was a big playmaker. This kid's a freshman out of Wildwood. 5'9", 180-pound freshman out of Wildwood, bro. He's a Florida boy. He is a Florida boy. Heinzel goes 20 for 27 for 226 and 2 touchdowns. They got one solid receiver. Kenny Johnson went for 6 for 91. That's their main guy. Even Turner caught 4 passes out of the backfield. I mean, seriously, I'm not impressed by Pitt's defense at all. They jumped up so far ahead that Georgia Tech really had to just, go out of their element to try to kind of get back in the game. We got to be ready to play next week. But man, oh man, I'm defensively, we have got to be better. We have got to be so much better. Like I said, Malachi Toney goes 12 for 146. Keelan Mary 6 for 79. Every time we threw the ball down the field, we completed it. Like today, we completed it. Every time we threw the ball down the field, we were. Carson Beck was sharp, bro. You got to let this dude play. You got to let him play. Anything else I can think of off the top of my head? Carter Davis hits 2 field goals. Dylan Joyce punting is still, not where I want it. 44.5 yards is not enough for me. Malachi had 1 punt return. He did I said he needed to touch the ball 15 times a game. Well, he had it 1, 13, 16, 7. He touched the ball 17 times. That's what you have to do every game. He has touched the ball up over 15 times. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker, man. All is not lost. I'm going to sit here and tell you this. Folks, the comments that I read on Facebook, they pain my soul because you got to remember something. And I'm going to do a video more to this on Hurricane fans because Hurricane fans are really starting to frustrate me. This is a program that had not won 10 games but one time until Mario Cristobal became the head coach over a 17-year period. That was the year with Mark Rick where they started off 10-0 and lost their last 3. Their only appearance in an ACC championship game. But this is a team that, a program that while you may believe that they have better players, and I believe they have better players too, the coaching has been so subpar, even under Cristobal, that you have to understand that this was a 6 and 6 500 level program for over 15 years. From 2004 to 2023. We were 5, 6 and 6, 5 and 7, 6 and 7, 7 and 6, 7 and 5, 8 and 4. Then we were 9 and 4 once for literally every season outside of one. And until last year, we had won 10 games once in almost 20 years. The expectation of going undefeated. Yes, after those first 5, a lot of us felt like we're going to go undefeated. We're too good for these teams, and we are. We saw SMU get just dog walk Louisville today. Well, SMU's better than people think. I mean, and that's what bothers me. Louisville played without their guys today. Like, of course, that's how it seems to go. Of course, they're going to play without Miller Moss today. Of course, that's going to happen. How else could it be? Because of course he plays versus us, and they played without Isaac Brown. Of course they're going to be without Isaac Brown. How else could it be? How else could it be? So they're playing without their 2 best players on offense, and yes, it showed. But defensively, they got gutted. Louisville got gutted, and that's what pisses you off as a Canes fan. You see that, you're like, we could have done that. We should have done that. But instead, we're playing this dink and dunk offense. We're not trusting our players to make plays. Let your playmakers be playmakers, bro. That's what you got to do. But this mentality that, first, I hate the mentality that the ACC is just so bad. It's not. People have been brainwashed to believe this conference is just terrible and everything. Only because the voters do this every year. Every year they do this. They throw 10 SEC teams in there. Just because they're SEC? The SEC was playing a bunch of podunks today, the most of the conference. Look, will I be happy if Auburn beats Alabama next week? Absolutely. Will I be happy if Georgia Tech beats Georgia next week? Absolutely. I think if Georgia Tech beats Georgia, Georgia should fall out the top 12 because of how much they've degraded and downplayed the ACC. If Georgia Tech beats Georgia next week, Georgia should drop out of the top 12. I said it. Haynes King, you're a big cheerleader next week. I want you to kick Georgia's ass. Kick Georgia's ass. I want Auburn to beat Bama. I want these things to happen naturally. I want it to be easier. I still know that either BYU or Utah is definitely going to lose in the Big 12 championship. Utah showed me nothing today. Nothing. If you watch that Utah game and you're in a committee and you thought Utah is a good team based on what you saw, well, you're a moron. You're an absolute fool. That was a 5-16 that put a 47 on them. They finished at Kansas. That's a road game. Kansas is 5-6. Could they beat Utah? I believe they could. I absolutely believe they could. Because I think Utah's completely mediocre. Jumping up and down. Yeah, they beat Cincinnati at home. That was their big win. That's their big win of the year. Cincinnati. And Cincinnati right now is losing to BYU 20-14 with 34-7 to go in the fourth. I hope Cincinnati comes back and wins. But I also believe that Texas Tech is going to dog walk Utah if they play them in the Big 12 championship. Obviously, if they were to win, that would be a problem for us. I will say that. It will be. People are jumping up and down about Notre Dame beating fucking Syracuse 70-7. Who cares? They got a 21-0 lead on 3 non-offensive scores. 2 picks for touchdown and a punt return. And people make a big deal about it. Were you making a big deal when Notre Dame beat Boston College 25-10? Boston College was 1-11 or 1-10? No, they don't say nothing about it. But the Hurricane fan acts like the season ends when you lose a game. As if you had these expectations of being undefeated. Again, after 5, sure, maybe we all did. Maybe many of us did. But it's football. It's football. And teams play well some days and they don't play well others. This is how it goes. If you gave us a schedule that Ohio State has played, we'd be undefeated right now. Texas sucks. Illinois is not good. And the rest of their schedule has been garbage. Horrible. But no one says nothing about it. Nothing. Tennessee's beating nobody good this season. They're beating up Florida today. Woohoo. I get to listen to Arkansas being the best 2-win team in the country, and they just got beat. You have a 50-plus points to Texas. It's ridiculous. But y'all fans, man, you speak so much negativity into the air about the team. I mean, I'm guilty of it too, but I've been preaching, yo, if we win out, we're gonna make the playoffs. While y'all, you win a game by 17 points, you say it's over. No, it's not. It's not. It's like you want it to be over. They're not gonna fire Mario Cristobal, bro. They're not gonna fire the guy if he goes and wins 10 games. They're not gonna do it. So get over that crap. Miami has the ability to win every week against anybody in the country if they play their best ball. I can't say the same about every other team in the top 12. I think if Miami plays their best game and Alabama plays their best game, Miami beats Alabama. I think if Miami plays I think the only team in the country that if they play their best game both sides of the football and we play our best game both sides of the football, the only team that truly would give us a problem, a real problem, is Indiana. Because I think we play our best on both sides of the ball, we beat the crap out of Ohio State. That's my belief. Indiana, because Indiana has a potent-ass offense. My belief. I don't believe that if Ohio State plays their best and that if Notre Dame plays their best and Ohio State plays their best, that Notre Dame has any chance to beat Ohio State. It's my belief. It could be completely flawed logic. But obviously, typically when you play your best game and the other team plays, they don't play their best. So we all know how it works. It's very rare that you're going to have everyone play their best game. If they do that, then you might have a 0-0 game. But yeah, man, folks, y'all need to lighten up with the crazy negativity about this team because it is not helpful. I'm convinced that the committee people read this shit. I'm convinced the committee people see what their own people's fans have to say, and they look at it like, yo, these people don't believe they belong. So why the hell should we believe that they belong? You should think about that sometimes before you spew negativity into the air about how the season's over because you won by 17 on the road. On the road. Against a team that's been a rival for 20 years. Again, I don't care about the rivalry thing. I think we should have won by more. But we didn't. But at the end of the day, at least Mario decided, he decided we got to score again. Well, you should have decided that earlier in the quarter because we should have been up 41-10. But that's all I got, folks. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.